What's up, solutionaries? We getting started about a minute or so early. I want to give you guys a quick commercial before we start. One, Maj Toure, founder of Black Guns Matter, Solutionary University, and all of that. Guys, support the work. Grab some merch. This shirt right here, the white media most effective devil in America shirt. These are on sale at blackgunsmatter.shop for $20. The white ones are on sale for $20. Go support the work that way. We got folks coming in. We a little early. I'm assuming that y'all on Black People time, y'all on time, y'all early, right? You're a minute early. So thank you all. If you guys can jump in the comment section, let me know where you from. I see Kawan Calendar already put a comment in there, but nonetheless, guys, support the work. J Dub, what's up? Give me some comments, guys. Let me know where y'all from. If you're watching this on X, please, guys, make sure that you are sharing the show, sharing the space all over the place. Again, as I was saying, we haven't started exactly yet. We're about a minute early. This starts usually around this time in about a minute. But nonetheless, grab some merch as well as, guys, throughout the stream. There's several ways that you can help buying merch, doing super chats, and just donating to the work directly. The reason why we prefer for you guys to donate to the work, I mean, if you can get, you just want shirts, then you can just get shirts, right? But when you guys donate to the work, we now need 300 and I don't know, I think 93 more donors at the $100 level. And when we get that, we can buy the building and I can stop fundraising. I'm going to say this every night as we're doing the streams the entire time because this part is important. I want to continue to make this content, but we also got to get to work. Y'all elected me or selected me to do the work that I do, and it's very important. So anyway, guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. If you're coming in, guys, hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. If you're watching on YouTube, please definitely hit the like button. The algorithm loves the like button. And I want you guys to make sure that you're commenting and all that other good stuff. Let me know what platform you're watching it on. Just let's warm up that way. Today we're going to have a talk about this Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil, who was arrested. Now I know you guys. I talked about this a few days, but there's been some developments in this situation, and these developments are like, that's interesting. Now, you guys know that we solutionaries. If we get new information, we go and we share that new information because new information might change the whole overall thing. We are sticklers for context. We are sticklers for nuance. We are sticklers for the highest level of attachment to be to the truth. And so when initially Khalil was arrested, now for those of you, let's go back a bit. Khalil is a pro-Palestinian, Palestinian born. I think he's from like by way of somewhere else. But he's a dude that was organizing some of the college university protests in opposition to what the Israeli government is doing in Palestine. Okay. And for all of you like super nerds that's related all deep into the Middle East conflict, I'm going to say Palestine because sometimes people go, Palestine doesn't have a right to exist. Like, listen, I'm just using the names that people are aware of. So don't bite my head off. All right. So this guy gets arrested for organizing protests. Now, Trump initially posted something saying, I've made rules to arrest the illegal protests. And that sparked up a little word for me. Protests aren't illegal. America was founded on civil disobedience and sometimes not civil, so civil disobedience. And I'm not advocating for or saying necessarily that all of the protests should be violent. I think protests, even if they're uncomfortable and fucking annoying, these protests create a space where people are able to express their grievances. I'm not upset with that. If that means some of these goofballs or whatever they're doing outside of harming people and destroying property, that is a riot or rebellion. That is not a protest. Words have definitions. So when Trump said illegal protest, I was like, and I'm still kind of like, Trump, you ain't been the most constitutional president in your first run through. And again, I like Trump. This ain't no never Trumper, anti-Trump. I'm a leftist type bullshit. It's not. It's just not. Our job is to be strict, structured, objective, and call the balls and strikes. Honestly and up the middle, regardless of if it's the guy that you like or the guy that you don't like. Now, so I start looking into this, and it became like obviously it's a huge story, right? And so I started questioning, okay, what did Main Man himself actually do? what did himself, right? Because there's a clear contradiction here. On one hand, you got people saying, well, he was organizing, he told people to come to these protests, and the protests got active, and he used words, and he was inciting a riot. And I'm like, that is the exact same thing that the left said about Donald Trump. It's the exact same thing. Guys, if you tap it in, please communicate. I see it's 100 people in this space right now. Guys, comment where you watching from, what platform. If you're watching on Facebook, Rumble, X, YouTube, comment. Valerie Hayter says, agree that the right has to be careful about what limits on speech it makes. Now, here's the weird part about that. I'm gonna put that up there, Valerie. Here's the weird part about that. Because he just graduated in December. Okay. He has a permanent visa. He's got the green card, permanent resident. Okay. Obviously, there's rules and like you can't do X, Y, and Z and so forth and so on. And the rules, what Trump did in directing ICE and the Department of Homeland Security to detain him is not illegal. So this conversation tonight is not about whether this is illegal, because it's not. The Supreme Court unanimously decided that DHS has full reign over this. I disagree with this concept that federal courts can't even argue against it. The DHS can revoke citizenship, green cards, visa, even if it's already approved in application. That's just what it is. Okay? I don't agree with courts not having the ability to argue against that, but that's me. Okay? But that's the rule. So the argument is not whether Trump, what he did was illegal. Now, that was the first iteration of this conversation. Okay? And we're going to go a few places tonight. That was that first iteration. And my next thought was, well, what did he himself do? Because what I'm not going to do, I disagree with the vast majority of these college students. They have no understanding of, they happen to be somewhat correct because Israel government, the Israeli government, Netanyahu, Bibi, all of them dudes are really fucking up the Gaza Strip. I mean, it's not even, and that does not mean that what Hamas did in October the 7th was okay. We are nuanced as solutionaries, okay? But what I'm always concerned about is when a college student or anyone is advocating or verbalizing support for something that I'm 100% against, I will defend against their viewpoints, but I will defend their ability to say that shit. I actually mean that. And I don't agree with a lot of this pro-Palestinian, some of the pro-Palestinian actions. But I'm also not dick riding the Israeli government. I'm not. So it puts me in a great place to evaluate this and go, yo, they said Trump incited a riot at January the 6th. They said all of the J6ers were violent, and it clearly was not all of the J6ers. They said all of the J6ers to go to jail. The Department of Justice weaponized, Biden administration weaponized it and went and arrested people, put them in jail. They was in jail for a long ass time until Trump got out and gave them pardons. So you would think that Trump would understand mainstream media narratives unless there's something else afoot. Okay? So I immediately started going, yo, what's his charges? And I get the rule. The rule is a vague, you were a terrorist or in support of terrorists. That's not clear. It's not clear. It's vague. So I started getting like, wait a minute now. What is that? Because I wasn't all the way abreast on the Columbia protests and school. I think those young people, up for the most part, are fucking retarded. They just happen to be on the right side because Israel is doing so much wrong. That's not me, the Israeli government, not my Jewish friends. Shout outs to Ashira Solomon. Shout outs to fucking Yehuda, the Pew Pew Jew. Shout outs to shout outs to Coach Ty Rogers. Shout outs to people that I really bang with that are of the Jewish faith. Okay? That being this, the thing is, I'm going, the Israeli government, much like the deep state and the United States government, is doing shit that Israeli people in Israel don't fuck with. So I'm like, okay, this looks a little weird. Now, Trump just took $230 million from Israel, from AIPAC, for his campaign, for all of those different things. So I'm like, he seems to be descending on this kid or this college graduate student very, very rapidly, but I don't see the same level of urgency around these Epstein files. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole with Israeli intelligence and Mossad and all that other type of shit. So I wanted to know what was actually going on with this situation. And I'm going to read some of these things. And I'm not even going to string this out. The update that I found out today was come to find out that this guy, Mohammed Khalil, has United Kingdom secrets, not Secret Service, but government security clearances. So now it throws a whole nother monkey wrench in the shit. Now I'm like, wait a minute. So this guy was supposedly from Palestine. He got clearance in UK, and he's in United States galvanizing situations on college campuses. Now that's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother thing. So I want to read y'all some of these scenarios. First, let's read this one. Now, this one comes from NBC News. Okay. Jason says the difference in you and many others is you're a critical thinking and objective. Many don't even know what the word objective even means. And that's what I'm saying. My argument here is not that I am saying we should all get behind Muhammad Khalil. I'm not saying that. I don't fucking know him. I think we should all get behind Dexter Taylor. How about that? Right? Um, and I'm also not saying that I agree with the Israeli government on a lot of these issues. I'm not saying that. I am America first. I am a libertarian. I am concerned about them pendulums, each side pushing the pendulum the other way and it's swinging back. Them pendulums swing both ways and they sharp as fuck. So when I hear people going, yeah, get his ass out of here, and I go, wait a minute. What are his actual charges? I know the rule, but I'm not going to agree with that rule, even though it's the rule. I'm going to disagree with the rule if it's just being used because he was doing what Trump or the Trump administration identifies as anti-Semitic speech. I'm a black dude. I don't support hate speech laws. Like if a white dude kills a black dude, I'm not going to go, oh, it was hate speech, give him extra time. No, charge him for fucking homicide. Was it premeditated? Was it not? Was it an accident? Was it involuntary manslaughter? That's it. I don't want because the other side, the white guy killed the black guy. Now it's a hate crime. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of, oh, he said that I've said the swastika is an African adinkra symbol. The swastika has been around on Buddhist statues' heads for however long before Hitler put his hands on it. Okay? So when I say that, somebody could go, oh, Maj, you being anti-Semitic. Get the fuck out of here. Words are words. Words are not violence. So I wanted to make sure before I say, yeah, string his ass up. Get him out of here. Before I said that, I wanted to know what the fucking facts of the matter are. And I couldn't find out what he was fucking charged with. That's Gestapo shit. It's ironic. We talk about not wanting to be, what's up, Bookworm? Not wanting to be anti-Semitic, but it looked like we're doing Gestapo tactics. I do not know what his charges are. And so let me read this for y'all. NBC News, because I always want to make sure, listen, guys, when somebody's reading stuff for y'all, make sure they ask them in the chat when you ever on the show. Ask them where the fuck they're getting it from. This one right here, I got a few of them. This one right here is from NBC News. Trump administration says it intends to deport Mahmoud Khalil, alleging serious foreign policy consequences. The Department of Homeland Security issued Khalil a notice to appear before an immigration judge for deportation proceedings with a hearing set for March 27th in Louisiana. Okay? They filed the document seeking to deport him, Khalil, who played a major role in pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University, saying he is, quote, subject to removal from the United States in documents obtained by NBC News. Federal immigration agents arrested Khalil 30 in New York City on Saturday, and briefly took him to a detention center in New Jersey before he was transferred to the facility in Jena, Louisiana. They play this game sometimes, guys. Right? Yes, the same guy, Heimer. It's new information, though. I want to be clear. What's up, Rob? Right? I want to be clear, everybody. This is not me just going over the same story. There's new information. There's stories that have came out that this guy has security clearances from the UK government. So I want to give everybody that missed it yesterday and give y'all some backdrop, give y'all some of my ideology and why I'm even talking about this and giving the objective perspective. But I want to give a little bit of backdrop. They play this game. They take you from close to where you at, Columbia University, New York, and they take you all the way to fucking Louisiana. So your people can't holler at you. That's a little mind fuck, right? Transferred to a facility in Jeddah, Louisiana. He is an Algerian citizen of Palestinian descent. So he's from Palestine. He's he's a citizen of Algeria. He's married to a U.S. citizen and a legal permanent resident of the United States. That is some fuckery. That's he's a mutt. He's all over the place. Okay? And to Q-tips, I think I'm saying that. Hello. So he's all over the place. In the document, the Department of Homeland Security cited a provision in immigration law that gives the Secretary of State the authority to deport someone if it is determined that the person, quote, would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the United States. That sounds like a stretch to me, solutionaries. That sounds like a stretch to me. What the fuck is he charged for? Let's read on. The Secretary of State, Rubio, has determined that your presence or activities in the United States would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the United States. It continued. That seems like they just repeated. We think that you fit this description of you would have serious international consequences, but that doesn't tell us anything. That doesn't tell us any words. That's just words. That's like word salad. Okay. The agency issued Khalil a notice to appear before an immigration judge for deportation proceedings, with the hearing set for March 27th at the detention center in Louisiana, where he's being held, according to the document obtained by NBC News. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, said Khalil, quote, refused to sign the document, which was dated as having been served to him Sunday, the day after he was arrested. He shouldn't sign the shit. Duh. Deportation proceedings for a person with a green card are handled in the immigration court system, in which an immigration judge would ultimately decide whether someone can be deported. A federal judge temporarily blocked Khalil from being deported Monday, saying he will remain in the United States as the court weighs the challenge to his arrest and detention. Now, that part is what I'm cool with. Now, let me be clear on that. Bookworm. All right, boom, y'all. Tonight's tea. The tea that I'm wearing tonight, guys. That's the link you can click. BlackGunsMatter.shop. I'm going to be promoting this throughout the whole show. The white media, most effective devil in America. And I'll go into why this is important for tonight. This shirt is on sale for $20 over at BlackGunsMatter.shop. If y'all go on the hyperlink, it's right there in the chat. And it's right there on the screen. Okay? Hit that link. Grab a shirt or 2 or 5. Every order over $100, you get free shipping. So spend $100 with us. All right. I'm a fan of the people having due process. I am not a fan of Gestapo, Guantanamo Bay, waterboarding bullshit. I'm not. Even for my worst enemies. I don't know this kid Khalil or this grown ass man in graduate school, which is a fucking red flag to me. That's a red flag to me. But nonetheless, I am a fan of that judge going, nah, we're going to sort this out properly. Okay? NQ-Tip says, wait, regardless, isn't his actions covered by freedom of speech and expression? It isn't like he's running around killing people. Now, that's my initial argument. Now, the rule, DHS has the final decision over this. That's the rule. That's a Supreme Court upheld decision, and they were unanimous on that. A federal judge, after that decision, a federal judge can't even argue against it and counteract it. I disagree with that. I understand the rule, but I disagree with certain components of it. All right? But let's keep going, because this shit is starting to turn into a rabbit hole. Okay? A federal judge temporarily blocked Khalil from being deported Monday, saying he will remain in the United States as the court weighs the challenge to his arrest and detention. The case is separate from the proceeding Khalil will face in immigration court to determine whether he should be deported and his green card should be taken away as ordered by DHS. Immigration law experts say the immigration court system favors the government, although green card holders have certain rights, such as the right to lawyers and a right to hearings before immigration judges. Okay? NBC News obtained the document Wednesday, hours after a federal judge in New York heard arguments in the arrest and detention of Khalil. His lawyers want him to be released from the Louisiana detention center and return to New York for his immigration proceedings. Meanwhile, the Trump administration argued that the case should be moved to New Jersey or Louisiana. Now, I'm going to pause on that article for just a second. Okay? I want you guys to recognize that I'm not arguing that this person is especially after the new information. Okay, I'm not arguing that this person is um or the philosophy that he embeds. I'm in support of it, but that's because that's not how free speech works. And the argument and the question and the philosophical direction that I'm going is, do we want to be the type of nation that is quick to arrest and suspend a permanent visa of people for expressing so-called anti-Semitic sentiments that I can't even see where the anti, and again, there were however many people, there were people at them Columbia protests that did things the wrong way, that violated people, that were calling for the death of Israelis and all of that. And I'm not with that. I'm not with that shit. I want to be very clear. I'm not with it. However, the Trump administration should be going after the students. Trump says we know that there's over 60 universities, there's hundreds of students, maybe thousands that we're looking into. Go after the ones that actually violated body and property. That. Don't do lazy shit to look tough on anti-Semitic whatever to justify a war or justify your whatever or justify the 230 that APAC gave you, 230 million dollars. Do we want to be the type of nation that sanctions that? Because of the fact that we like, yeah, we tired of these people that hate America. A part of being American is acknowledging human rights like the freedom of speech. Okay? And so I'm not saying that the Constitution doesn't have terms in there that are vague that say you can't even entertain the enemies of America. I'm not saying that. My argument is not against this so-called rule. The rule with DHS and the rule with immigration. My argument is that I'm asking everybody to look at something deeper, like the founding fathers did. Look into something deeper and more philosophical and more freedom-based. Okay, this person, the individual, because we all on the right say we don't like collectivism, we not don't I don't see color, I don't see whatever, right? We all say that. But then we go, yeah, lock him up because he organized protests. Again, Trump told people to go to the Capitol and voice their opinion on January the 6th. Now, obviously, he did not incite violence. Trump did not verbally say, yo, go tear that shit down. It's not what he said. Okay? But the left, a weaponized government, tried to hit Trump on charges. They did. They locked up January 6 protesters. Protesters, not the people that broke shit and whatever, just actual protesters. So if this happened to the right when the government had the power to do it because the people on the left were okay with it, why would we turn around and be the same thing simply because this guy is like Palestine or he might say Hamas or whatever? I don't give a fuck what a person says. Are we as soft as the left where words are violence? Is that what we're championing? Or are we letting it slide because Trump said it's okay? Give me some pushback in the chat, guys. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm right. Again, guys, T-shirt, most effective devil in America. The media, when your guy is in, or when Elon is on top of media, X, you are the media now. When those stories start to skew that way, and you got a platform, do you maintain your constitutional objectivity? Or do you just go, anybody who doesn't like America, get the fuck out? After you said, do it the right way and come here the right way. This guy did it the right way. Somebody tell me what he individually, what body or property he destroyed. We got to ask that question. Let's read on a little bit more, guys. Attorney Ramzi Kasim argued in court that Khalil, quote, was targeted for his advocacy for Palestinian rights, end quote. In addition to having Khalil be, quote, 1,000 miles away in Louisiana, end quote, any communication with him thus far has been monitored by the government. Quote, it impedes our ability to defend him, end quote, Kasim said. So now he can't speak to his lawyers. His conversations with his lawyers, your conversations with the lawyers are not supposed to be fucking recorded. Are y'all okay with this? This look like Gestapo fascist shit, and I hate that I sound like a leftist. That's the words they use for everything. But come on, guys. In response, Furman said Khalil and his attorneys are entitled to one privilege call Wednesday and another Thursday, meaning he will remain detained in Louisiana for now. Qasim said Khalil's legal team plans to quickly file an amended petition with the court later this week, given the, quote, grave constitutional consequences, end quote. He added that Khalil has no criminal convictions. So he's here lawfully. He has no criminal convictions. Has anybody ever found out what he's actually been charged with? Other than the vague term. Remember when George W. Bush used to say that? The evildoers, the evildoers. Guys, I want y'all to be clear. Some of y'all are going to see this a little bit later. Okay? You didn't tap into live. You won't be here to see the objective perspective that I'm sharing right now. You'll come across it later. I'm saying to you guys, this isn't about whether Department of Homeland Security and Immigration have the lawful authority to revoke his visa and or green card. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? I'm not saying that. I'm saying philosophically, why are we okay with, when do we get so soft? Jason got an answer for that. When do we get so soft that the American as apple pie concept of peaceable assembly and protest, and I'm not advocating and saying that every single student was peaceful, just like I'm not saying that every single J6er was peaceful. They weren't. But at a certain point, you start to go, what's the charge? It sounds like you just arrested him for being pro-Palestinian. And I'm not okay with that. Even though I'm not with these crazy ass college kids that have no real life study. Okay, let's read some of the comments real quick. Into Q-Tip says, what happened to his confidentiality between him and his lawyer? Gestapo shit. Guantanamo Bay shit. Is that the America we want to live in? Jason says, to answer your question, yes, people are soft. It's all about what their interests are. If it's against their beliefs or interests, it's immediately a threat and should be stopped. It's what the libs did to Trump. It's what he's doing now. And that's backwards. The only people that get more power, or only entities that get more power when the back and forth increase of power, when I'm in charge and my guy's in charge and your woman's in charge, the only entity that gains more power from that, it's not the people, it's the state. Okay? I'll make a law against this, anti-Semitic. Then when they get in, a black president get in, oh, stop Asian hate. Oh, stop. If you do something to a black person, it's a hate crime. Then damn near nobody could do anything because you're going to look at Fed time for just getting into an argument with somebody. It's backwards. Chuck E. Cheese says, agree with you. This is wild. I only spent, 10 minutes looking it up and I saw no crimes. Feels like conservatives flexing their power for catharsis. Or, deeper question, Trump is trying to make do and appease his $230 million masters over there at APAC. I'm sorry. I like Trump, but that's what it's looking like. Our highest alignment is to the information and us being objective. That's what it looked like. Okay? Into Q-Tip says, all he did was advocate for Palestine and rights. Osman says, just because something is legal doesn't make it right. Mark of Isaiah says, Zionism is a fascist ideology. Reggie P says, didn't this group say they wanted the complete eradication of Western culture? Okay. So did BLM. What the fuck? They literally put it on their website. They want to end to the nuclear family. That is a staple of Western culture. What are we talking about? Listen, I'm a gun owner, guys. Okay? I want to be very clear. A motherfucker could tell me into my face he gonna murder me, my children, my whole lineage. He could say all of the shit in the world he want. I'm gonna walk away. And if a motherfucker look like they too threatening, I could run away. And I'm going to. Words do not bother me. I made a post maybe a week or so ago, right? And I said, some dude called me the N-word. I'm saying the N-word just because I don't know how YouTube takes it, right? But he said the N-word, hit me with the hard R, right? And I quote posted and I was like, bro, I grew up in 90s Philly. I grew up listening to my uncle's music like NWA and shit, right? I do not like, the N-word can't even wake me up out of a light sleep. I don't give a fuck about that word. Like, you can't even hurt my feelings. You better kiss my white ass, right? And I do shit like that. Fuck people mind up, tell them, none of that shit bother me. Words are not violence. in any way, shape, or form. When the right starts going and looking like the left by saying things like, well, he said he's a terrorist because he said, I don't care what he said. What a crime has to produce a victim. And if we start co-signing it on the right, we're supposed to be the arbiters of conserving certain levels of dexterity and strength, right? I don't give a fuck what he said. If now we run into, he said his team or they put on his website that they wanted the eradication of where, motherfucker, I want a 10-foot pool right now in 100 acres. Well, the world don't care what you want. Did you do something to get it? So when we on right of center folks, liberty folks, conservatives, whatever, right? When we're supposed to be the people that's holding the torch for conserving like constitutional values like freedom of speech, if someone is here lawfully, has not violated a actual crime, and then we like, well, it's like a scapegoat. Well, his green card say if he get out of line. This is the reason why I don't have no firearm certifications from any of these organizations. Because I know all of the stuff. If I know the stuff, but I take your certification, if I say something politically or something that you like, oh, he shouldn't have said that, the first thing, what they going to do? Take my certifications. Oh, he's not even certified no more. I don't want your bitch ass certifications. And I'm not saying that as a diss to any organization or their certifications. I'm saying that, like, if I said something, which I do all of the time, if I said something that people would disagree with, they could say me asking questions about this is supporting terrorism, and that's why they purposely make it vague. It's supporting terrorism, and we got to put him in Guantanamo Bay. Now, I am an American citizen or sovereign individual that has citizenship in the United States of America. That's me. But let's not act like they didn't grab motherfuckers like a thief who go in the night and put them in Gitmo. Let's not act like that's not something that the American government and the deep state does. For their, oh, we gotta make this right with our other alliances. It's not okay. Tell me where I'm wrong. I need the smoke. Somebody give me the smoke. Somebody tell me where I'm wrong. Let's read this. Quote, what happened to Muhammad Khalil is nothing short of extraordinary and shocking and outrageous. End quote. Qasim, his lawyer, said at a news conference after the hearing, quote, every day that Mahmoud spends in detention in Louisiana is a day too long. Okay? Listen, I'm just reading a little bit more of this, guys. I don't even know. Listen to this. We were not shown any warrant, and the ICE officers hung up the phone on our lawyer, said Khalil's wife, who was not named in court. Quote, within minutes, they handcuffed Mahmoud, took him out in the street, and forced him into an unmarked car, she said in a statement. Watching this play out in front of me was traumatizing. It felt like a scene from a movie I never signed up to watch. DHS said in a statement about Khalil's arrest that he had led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? You did something that's aligned with Hamas. What? Wear a red, like white and green, one of them things that's aligned with. This is vague statements that are the hallmark card of fascist regimes. And I hate that I sound like a fucking lefty. But tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. White House press secretary Carolyn Levitt alleged that Khalil, quote, organized group protests that not only disrupted college campus classes and harassed Jewish American students and made them feel unsafe on their own college campus, but also distributed pro-Hamas propaganda flyers with the logo of Hamas. I don't care. I don't care. It's stupid. It's dumb. These are college people that are retarded. That's where I was landing. That's where I was landing. And then this gem showed up. I'm just telling y'all how I was thinking as this information fell on my lap a few days ago. And I was like, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Hold on, let me find this shit. Let me find this shit right here, y'all. Hold up, y'all. And where's my there it go. Now I want to read y'all something. Cause I'm just telling y'all how I was feeling. I'm just telling y'all my perspective based on all of that right there. Up to the Louisiana shit, to this. They still haven't said what his actual charges are. They gave some bullshit ass, oh, he was aligned with pro Hamas. I am very critical of the Israeli government. I think certain parts of Western civilization have been very fucking wrong. Does that align me with Hamas? And this is what I'm saying. Like we gotta start. We gotta stop just being like, yeah, because it's people we don't like. And then you actually gotta ask yourself, why I don't like these people? All of the people that's anti-Jew, right? Why? Every Jew, like all of them, just everybody that hate black people, like all of them. Like, come on, you don't you ain't dropping you ain't want to drop a tear when Kobe died. He happened to be black. Like, what the hell, right? So this ain't that. So you got to ask yourself why. But then the other question you got to ask yourself is, yo, what exactly is why am I championing the government doing this without enough information? There was tons of students that the DOJ and the ICE and all of them could have went after that actually broke shit. All right? Let me read this to y'all though. Here's where I started going, "Oh, okay now. Listen to this, y'all." Now, that was the first half of the live. Guys, if you're in the live, support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Support the work, guys. We need 393 more $100 donors. Last night, a lot of y'all said y'all was going to support, and y'all didn't. Listen, y'all don't have to give $100. Just give what you can, guys. I can continue to do this stuff. I'm trapped in the RV. I'm alone in this motherfucker. Right? I'm like the television show Alone. Not really, because they got to make their own. You know what I mean? Like, I got a TV and a DVD player, so I'll be fine, right? But my point is, I'm trapped in this joint. I'm fundraising. We only got 393 more donors at the $100 level, and we done. All right? So support. That's the link right down there. If you're watching this on whatever you're watching it on, that's the hyperlink. If you're watching this on X, it's the pinned post. Hit that link. Support the work. Donate 10, 20. Let's get 10 people to donate at the $20 level. It's 274.75 of us in here. I'm pretty sure 10 people can donate $10. Come on, y'all. Now, this is the shit that today I was like, oh, now we objective. As solutionaries, we objective. Report. Mahmoud. Now, unless this is the media, and I got this off of humanevents.com. I think Posobiec's a fucking clown. But I think this is his website or something, got something to do with. Somebody correct me in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Right? So, unless this is media, because Posobiec is tied to the trumpet. Posobiec and them was down with them binder ones, phase ones at the White House, the information for the Epstein files that had less in it than was already publicly available for 2 years. Posobiec was down with that. Okay? Posobiec was down with that. And I think Human Events is Posobiec's website. So this might be another media spin. Most effective devil in America. Okay? But I'm just telling y'all what I'm reading. I'm telling y'all the sources. The people that are your pundits that's telling you shit, they need to tell you the source. They need to tell you who they think got who has affiliate. If I give y'all a story from Fox, I'm gonna mention Rupert Murdoch. If I give y'all some legacy media shit, I'm gonna say this is legacy media, right? This I got the story from here, but it's interesting. Go through it with a grain of salt. Okay? Report. It's not me making this up, y'all. Report. Mahmoud Khalil had security clearance from the British government. Huh? What the fuck? Why? Wait a minute. Now I go, pump the brakes. Maybe Trump and those guys were right. Why does this Algerian born or Algerian citizen by birth through Palestine have UK security clearance? What the fuck? Let's read. The Middle East Eye has revealed on Wednesday that Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia University master's grad who was detained by the Department of Homeland Security on Saturday night after his green card was revoked by the State Department, had security clearance from the British government. He worked, the outlet states, as, quote, program manager at the Syria office in the British Embassy in Beirut from 2018 to 2022. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Khalil, quote, worked as a local manager for the Syria Chevening program, a prestigious UK government international scholarship scheme, as well as for the Conflict Stability and Security Fund, MEE states. Khalil came to the U.S. in 2023, obtained a green card, and completed graduate studies at Columbia School of International and Public Affairs in December 2024. British diplomats had kind words for Khalil. Former diplomat Andrew Waller said that to gain his position in the UK's embassy in Beirut, he, quote, went through a vetting process to get the job and was cleared to work on sensitive issues for the British government. Waller said that the UK program with which Khalil was affiliated is, quote, flagship UK soft power policy. It brings the brightest students, this is a further quote, it brings the brightest students from around the world to UK universities. Mahmoud ran its Syria program and interviewed hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants on behalf of the British government, Waller said. Khalil also served as, quote, local staff political officer and translator both for language and context in meetings. Waller had nothing but kind words for Khalil per MEE. The Chevening Scholarship, MEE reports, is a program of the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office and aims to, quote, support UK foreign policy priorities and achieve FCDO objectives by creating lasting positive relationships with future leaders, influencers, and decision makers. Khalil was a leader and spokesperson for the violent demonstrations. Now, this is them saying this. I don't know about that. Leader and spokesperson for the violent demonstrations and occupations that took place on Columbia's campus. Students and activists occupied the quad administration buildings and as recently as January, disrupted classes to distribute anti-Israel, pro-Palestine pamphlets. Last week, yada, yada, yada. What the fuck? Now, that's when you hear the brakes pumping and you go, wait a minute, Maj, this is where your objectivity is supposed to kick in. Now I got to argue against my original points. Now, does the State Department know of these things and was aware? If they do, because this motherfucker, look, Algerian citizen, born in Palestine, visa, came to the United States in 2023, so he ain't been here for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Came through 2023, go to grad school, get out of there, get the green card, boom. Talk about getting into America fast, the legal way. He clearly did. Unless it's something else afoot. But I ain't going to go that far down the rabbit hole. Does all of that. What the fuck do you need this clearance for? Now, if the Trump administration knows this, and they're not telling the American people this, it is a colossal mistake. It's a bad tactic. It's a bad tactic. To leave it at what it appears to look like. Okay? Chuck E. Cheese, hold up. Let's take this. Chuck E. Cheese says, I've never heard of the news organization in the Middle East. Jack is a complete joke, and even if somehow this was true, unless it's a directed counterintelligence operation, it's not legal. Listen, I'm Posobiec, I think, is a clown. And I don't trust Posobiec as far as I could throw him and 5 people at the same time with a rucksack on. I don't trust him. Okay? However, so again, media. Posobiec is in league with the White House. Posobiec worked for naval intelligence. He's a fucking spook. I don't fuck with Posobiec. He's not conservative. He's a fucking weirdo. He's gonna pay to the highest bidder, and I'm embarrassed to say he's like, I think he went to Temple University in Philly. Okay? So if that's his website, because I think it is, I'm not certain. I don't know. Okay? I take everything with a grain of salt, but I'm putting a couple of sprinkles of salt if it's from Posobiec, because if Posobiec is associated with this, and how the media works and this PR network works is, oh, we got to put something out there to quell and squash some of the backlash that we're getting for doing that. That could be a part of it. It could be. I don't want to rabbit hole everybody too much, right? But if let's go on face value and say this is accurate. If the Trump administration, if he does have some fucking 007 MI6 type shit, right? If he got that. And if the Trump administration knows that and they don't communicate that with the general public, what it looks like right now is you guys are just black bagging anybody on a college campus that is influential, that's going to speak so-called anti-Semitic rhetoric. You guys look weak. You guys look like you're just doing the busy bidding of the Israeli government. That's what it looks like. Tell me if I'm wrong in the chat, in the comment section, right? That's what it looked like. I'm always skeptical of a 30-year-old that's in college. Fuck that. Unless you're a lawyer or a doctor, I'm always fucking skeptical. You out there to like sleep with like 25-year-old bitches. Like, come on. I'm always skeptical of that. But this extra information makes me super skeptical. But that level of super skepticism is now questioned like, hey, Trump administration, why are you doing this? All doing it this way and making it look like the Trump administration is tap dancing for the Israeli government on the heels of, if the Israeli Epstein connection is real, which all intents and purposes, I got to say if, because I don't have absolute proof. If that is real, it looks like you're running interference for the Israeli government. And that's not going to help our Jewish American friends. That's going to turn up the like, oh, even Trump dick riding. It's going to turn up anti-Semitic. Like, you'll start to get actual, real anti-Semitic shit. That's how the shit works. It's opposite day out here. Okay? It's a bad tactic. It doesn't make sense. You look like you just targeted the leader to, I'm tough on crime. We'll show them, right after you just said some shit like, oh, all of your whole staff, the whole thing is, Israel is our greatest ally. Y'all look like more of the same. And you're going to destroy a lot of the connections with a lot of hardworking, patriotic Americans, because those Americans actually believe the America first agenda, not the Israel first agenda. It's a bad tactic. If this kid is real, or this guy, because he's not a kid, if this guy is really that, security clearances in fucking 5 countries and 18 passports, and you know that, you got to say, this guy was hiding in plain sight as a green card holding permanent visa. We missed it. The last administration missed it, right? And this is the reason why we're getting him out of here. And these are the secure. We can't go to it in depth, but here's his file. Throw him to the wolves. Tell me if I'm wrong, solutionaries. Tell me where I'm wrong. It just doesn't make sense to do it this other way. Or this is a hit piece that they got Posobiec to put together, or one of their teams, right? I'm just telling y'all, look, guys. This made me go question. This made me go like, wait a minute now. And that's what we're supposed to do as solutionaries. We are supposed to critique the information as it becomes available. This is a grand chessboard. You guys should read The Grand Chessboard by Zbigniew Brzezinski. Okay? Really evil dude. Read the book, right? But when you're talking about geopolitics, you on a chessboard. So our job is supposed to evaluate the question the information that's showing up. That's our job. And when I seen this little gem, I was like, oh, wait a minute now. But again, we got to go. If that's the case, then, and if the United States government knows that, they need to put a statement out. Pam Bondi and all of these people, everything about anything associated with the Israeli government, this administration is looking really, really bad. They wanted to continue the same Biden level spending, right? With this CR that just went through. Sidebar, Rand Paul's a no on that. It's a no on that. All right? Just continuing resolution. Money just going to the same spot. It just looked like more of the same. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look, guys. I'm flabbergasted, and my whole, when I seen it, I was just like, wait, what? Why? How? What? I'm just telling y'all. I'm just telling y'all what I'm seeing. Let's read this. Let's read this one. Now, this one is from. Hold on. Actually, let me read this one here. Uh, we ain't even got to read this. Actually, this is what I want to say. Trump's statement: if you support terrorism, including the slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children, your presence is contrary to our national and foreign policy interests, and you are not welcome here. The White House has not provided evidence to support accusations against Khalil, and it is not clear if he has been charged with any crime. Okay, guys, I want to read that part again. That one was on a Truth Social post that Trump said. He's saying that even the threat or the verbiage of saying, because just because you are disagreeing with how Israeli government is handling Palestine does not mean that you are saying pro Hamas. And they try to deliberately conflict that. No different than me saying, I do not like government. I don't like the United States government. I don't fuck with this government. I think it's too big. I think it's too bloated. I think they're not conservative. I think X, Y, and Z. That does not make me a domestic terrorist. Last fucking year, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, a buddy of mine, Mike Glover, that runs Fieldcraft Survival, his name was put on the terrorist watch group list. He has worked in the agency, the CIA. He's been a special forces dude, Ranger School, all of that, all of the wars, counterterrorism, all of that. They put him on the damn list. Why? Because he's patriotic and he don't fuck with the government seriously like that. So when we saying this, we got to go like, wait a minute now. Listen to what this said. When you try to group someone that you disagree with and you say you support terrorism, that is the same exact thing that the left said about Trump and the J6ers. They're trying to overthrow a democracy. Y'all don't see this? But each side is okay with it because nobody wants to go first. Nobody want to Thomas Massey this situation. Nobody want to go, fuck no, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. That's stupid. That's not constitutional. I question that. Nobody wants to go first. So since nobody wants to go first, more goofball pundits on the right go, yeah, that's right. And then slowly the right to freedom of speech in general gets eroded. You understand what I'm saying? He said if you support terrorism, including the slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children, that is a false connection. The White House has not provided evidence to support the accusations against Khalil. It is not clear if he's been charged with any crime. And this is me saying this for someone with new information. I'm like, hold up, is this motherfucker a spy? Because if he's a spy, tell us he's a spy, and we go, he's a spy, and we don't have to have this conversation. If he's if he's 006, right? If he's 006, tell us he's 006, right? 0030, because he's 30 years old. 00 graduate student. If he's doing that, then we gotta say, like, hey, this guy's a spy, so we're not gonna exert lives and energy on this dude. Okay? White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt at a news briefing Tuesday accused Khalil, not charged, accused Khalil of organizing group protests that not only disrupted college campuses and harassed Jewish American students and made them feel unsafe on their own college campus, but also distributed pro-Hamas propaganda. Listen, that sounds like a trespass, and the local police get them motherfuckers off our campus and y'all get arrested. That we don't need the federal government levels of involvement for that shit. We just don't, in my opinion. And how were you arresting him if those students were the one that was doing it? And I'm not saying that that's okay. Do not box me in. Don't box me in as a black American, as a Jewish American, as a fucking white American, green card. Do not impede my movement. It's wrong. That's not a protest. That's kidnapping. Okay, guys? This rabbit hole is getting deep, pause. Right? But here's what I'm going to ask everybody to do. I'm going to ask everybody to do a few things before we wrap up. One, I'm going to ask you guys to maintain your objectivity in these very strange times. The media, the fact that we have to ask the question of, is this Posobiec's website? And that's just getting tossed out there as like a red herring? Because it could be. So I'm asking you all to maintain an open mind and objectivity. This does not mean that you support terrorism. This does not mean that you're an evildoer. This does not mean that you're down with Hamas. It means that you're questioning the official narrative given by any media outlet because it's the most effective devil in America. Duh. That was the case when Biden was in. It was the case when Kamala was throwing Beyonce on the stage. It's the case when Trump is in. Our job as the American people is to have an allegiance to each other and share the information and give each other information to share perspective. I'm going back and forth about this on my social media, right? And I have Jewish friends, like actively participating and practicing Jewish, like Jews, not like kind of like Larry David, non-practicing Jews, like Jew, right? And they know that I'm not attacking their faith or attacking them or being so-called anti-Semitic. I can't be anti-Semitic. I'm Semitic. I'm black and copper skinned. But nonetheless, whole different conversation. Nonetheless, this isn't about all the Jews. Just like it's not about all of the. When you travel internationally, a lot of times people think Americans are arrogant or just want their way all of the time because their experience with so-called Americans is a arrogant American, or B, the American government and what it does. So I want you all to maintain a sense. We solutionaries. I want you all to maintain a sense of objectivity around these issues. If it's shown that main man is a fucking spook, and that's why the administration was like, get his ass, round him up. And I'm more leaning towards that because of this news story, which could not be fully accurate. I'm leaning that way because 30 years old, Algerian born or Algerian citizen, fucking Palestine born, UK clearance. That's a bunch of question marks to me. But that still doesn't mean that we don't look at the whole chessboard. I'm going to ask you all to be very, very objective, not just about this, but all of these things, as well as, guys, if you got some value from the conversation tonight, please support the work. There's 311 of us. Everybody hit the like button. No matter what you're watching on, hit the like button right now. Like button, like button, like button. Share the space all over the place. It costs you nothing. And more people get exposed to the information, what we're doing in our work and our fundraising efforts and all of those things when you share the content, okay? As well as, whichever one of these places that you're watching this now on, follow me on another platform. Follow me on X, Maj2Ray999, right down there at the bottom. If you're not watching on X, you're watching it on YouTube. Excuse me, if you're watching on X, you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maj2Ray. Also, lastly, guys, here's how you can support with money. Buy a t-shirt, $20, blackgunsmatter.shop, right? Duh. This shirt is $20, it's on sale. And lastly, we need 393 more donors at the $100 level to get me out of the RV and buy. I'm not leaving the RV until I buy the Solutionary Center. That's the goal, okay? 393 more folks at the $100 level. That helps. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. That's the site to do so. Wherever you're watching this on, if you shoot me a DM, right, after this, or a message or a comment or something, I'll send you the link directly and/or I'll answer that question in a second into Q-tips. And/or just go to GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. If you can't donate at the $100 level, don't. Give $10, give $20. Let's see if we can commit to get 10 people in the live that's watching this right now to donate at the $100 level. What do you get? What do you get for the $100? You pay it forward to our work, but you also get access to a Solutionary 9 membership, your workout plans, meal plans, shooting drills. Y'all see all of them cert pistols over there, right there? Shooting drills. We come up with your macros. We give you workout routines. All of the classes, firearms basics, understanding imminent threat, civics, very important class. All of that comes with the memberships as well as the curriculums that go along with it. You get your own personalized link to sell the merch and get a 15% commission for every sale. You get access to the Solutionary 9 Telegram group where there's thousands of solutionaries across the country that are working together working together and just helping each other and networking, pushing each other on our fitness, health goals, shooting goals, all of that information. That's what you get for donating at the $100 level. So please, guys, if we can get 10 folks to do that, givesendgo.com/solutionary. And that's what I need you all to do. Share the show, share the space all over the place. Donate, support the work by buying the shirt, blackgunsmatter.shop, and or donating to our work at givesendgo.com/solutionary. My name is Maj Toure. Thank you all for tapping into the Maj Toure Show. I will talk to y'all tomorrow, same time. Be safe, be solutionary.